Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good Sunday evening.
Good Sunday evening to you, sir.
Yeah, a little late, little old throwback here.
Yeah. Thank you for accommodating me. I'm going to get up early tomorrow morning and head down to LA. Got to record a podcast with Jay, and then I'll be down there the whole day tomorrow because I leave on the red eye for New York to Georgia. That's later in the week, so a little bit of travel ahead, but I'll be in a hotel room in Athens, Georgia on Friday, so we'll get back on a regular schedule.
Word. Cool. Well, these Sunday pods are usually a little off the rails.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So we'll just go where the night takes us.
Let's go where the night takes us. Where are we starting, Andy? A lot of controversial basketball stuff this weekend. You had a no call today in the Knicks game. We had Shedeur. I guess we did the episode on Friday, so that would have been only the first round had happened then? Is that where we were at? Wild where it went from there. We had a whole other day. Friday, he didn't get drafted Friday.
No.
He got drafted Saturday.
You know, I thought at that point, I was like, is he going to get drafted? So here's my thing. If I'm a team, I'm saying, okay, he doesn't make it through the first 4 rounds. In my head, I'm also going, okay, 31 other teams don't want him. Why are we taking him?
Brown's gonna Brown, bro. Brown's passed on him. Brown's passed on him a ton of times, and then Browns were just like, he's still there. They're like fucking Dave Chappelle, and they're like, oh man, kind of want him though. They're like, you already have technically 3 quarterbacks on your roster, and you drafted a guy in the 3rd round. They're like, yeah, but he's such a bad decision. We gotta have him.
It is crazy. So they have Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, and they drafted the kid from Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Was it Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
And then they just said, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, here's, I've looked at this a couple ways. The first way is all of the list of quarterback busts for the Browns and like the quarterback since Vinny Testaverde played, quarterback since whatever. It's just like a list of 80 guys. So the idea of them going through Flacco and Kenny Pickett and giving Deshaun Watson another chance this year and starting the rookie from Oregon and still playing Shedeur Sanders at some point this year, if any team is capable of that, it's the Browns.
Yeah, they got a history.
Yeah.
It's true. But like, there's
the thing from last year or months ago or whatever of Deion saying there's some teams I ain't even gonna let him play for. I told some teams he ain't playing for you. If the Browns are not one of those teams, what the fuck are we talking about? If the Browns aren't one of those teams, who is that team? The Bad News Bears?
Well, he just doesn't have any options.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. It's like
I don't. Here's the thing. To me, this is the owner. I mean, we've all seen. Here, I'm gonna pull up the video. Look at this. I mean, look at the GM. What's his name? Andrew. I forget. Look at him. Announcing the draft. Even the head coach, Kevin Stefanski. Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, look. The GM for the Browns look like he looks like somebody just showed him a video of someone banging his wife. Like, look at that clap. That is not a happy man right there.
They were walking to the last second. They were like, it's either Shedeur or Bo Callahan. We got to take one of them. It's time. Now, Andy, there's been so much discourse about this.
Yeah.
So much. And we'll talk about the info I shared with you earlier in the weekend. We'll get there. But I want to talk about all this other stuff first. Mel Kiper, is there anybody with half a brain at this point who doesn't know? Deion Sanders gave Mel Kiper a fucking fat suitcase full of money to suck off Shedeur Sanders. Like,
Yeah.
dude, who gives a shit? Like, why are you so about this? It is the only explanation is that he was paid to talk up Shedeur Sanders. It's the only explanation. Why do you care so much? You're the king of being wrong.
Well, and it's like I saw a lot of people saying, dude, if you ever had a clue what you were doing, you would have been GM at this point.
Yeah.
It's like the NFL Network version of this used to be Mike Mayock. He eventually became a GM. Now, he didn't pan out either.
Dude, Mel Kiper's been this guy for 30 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were good at your job, the team would bring you on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other logical explanation why he would stand that hard.
To the point where Reese Davis has to be like, fucking relax, dude. Reese Davis is like, enough is enough. Let it go.
My thing too with the NFL is, dude, teams will. This is the league where guys will put aside some very heinous crimes that players do.
Yeah.
Awful crimes if you can ball. So that says to me, he just was not valued by anybody.
Yeah.
All 30, like, you know what I'm saying? Teams will put aside, oh, you drunk drove and killed somebody. Oh, you beat a woman. Oh, you were charged with gazillion amount of rapes or sexual assault, a la Deshaun Watson. Like,
and the other thing that, when you talk about that, it's, you can be whoever Shedeur Sanders is and be a rapist and be a whatever. You just can't be a quarterback and do it. Like, they don't give a fuck if you are, clinically insane and play defensive line and beat your girlfriend and then throw her into a car that you drive drunk, and like then it ends up in a lake, because they're like, your job is to murder the guy in front of you and then murder the guy behind him. Quarterback, that's not your job. Your job, you're running they're the most valuable position on the field. And what's crazy about all this is the dialogue around this is insane. It's insane. I can't believe how many, like, why didn't fucking, why Johnny Manziel? He was an egomaniac. He got drafted in the first round still. You're proving the point. Like, teams don't have to make a mistake and then make a mistake again and then make a mistake again. Everybody except Andy Ruther was like, Johnny Manziel is going to be a bust. He's an egomaniac, fucking clown. By the way, he did drop. He dropped to 22nd, which at the time was still like a fall. The Browns, of course, took him. If the Browns didn't exist, Johnny Manziel might have fallen to the second round or the third round, or God knows where. The same way, who knows where Shedeur Sanders would have ended up if the Browns don't exist. There's a lot of terrible football players that would have fallen if the Browns didn't exist. But how do you look at these guys, look at them fail, and then go, well, why did that guy get a chance? Like, I heard somebody say, oh, everybody said Josh Rosen was a coddled kid and blah, 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 blah. And he ended up, and it's like, he sucked.
He lasted 2 years in the league.
So Johnny Manziel started 8 games in the NFL. 8.
Damn.
8 games, dude.
Well,
how many times, like, the league doesn't have to say, oh, we were so stupid And people kept telling us we should interview these guys. And if there's red flags, we should ignore them because they're just so talented. And then they do. And then the guy stinks. They have to keep doing it again for like fairness.
I definitely agree with you that no one's discussing that it is the quarterback position. We've seen divas. We've seen like that's wide receiver. We've seen guys. It's not like I've never seen a quarterback. Even again, let's look at Deion's dad. Or let's look at Shedeur's dad, Deion. Like Deion was a cornerback. And he's basically the mini-me of his father, but you're the quarterback, man.
Yeah.
It's
so
different.
I called you earlier in the weekend. I got intel. I got serious.
It's pretty insane.
Serious behind-the-scenes information about Shedeur and, essentially his meeting with teams. I can't talk about it. I shared it with you. I can't share the details of it publicly, but it's insane.
It's insane.
It's like when I told you, you're like, what the fuck? Like when I heard it, I was like, is this a joke?
I'm also not it's insane what you told me, and I hate that we can't reveal it just yet, but it is what it is. It also isn't like that surprising now that I've seen all this play out.
But it's insane. And it's not something that, and by the way, when I say something, things, multiple things.
There's a lot going on there.
A lot of things, like a lot of information. But it's not, these things aren't things that would have happened in one circumstance.
No.
This is something that would have happened. If this happened with Team X, it definitely happened with the Raiders and the Jets and the Steelers and the whatever. These were more not character things, but just like facts about him as a human being.
Well, what you told me, I know people are going to be like, why are you guys beating around the bush? But what you told me about him, honestly, I was thinking about it more yesterday after you told me, and I was like, these are a lot of traits of somebody with special needs.
Or just somebody like incredibly coddled, like beyond coddled.
But that's my point. Like what you told me, I'm like, would somebody with Down syndrome be in the same position of these circumstances you told me? And I was like, I think they might handle it better.
Yeah. And, there's been a lot of conversation about Deion being a part of this and the ego being a part of this and whatever. And then, of course, like the thing is like, Archie Manning was involved in Eli's thing and no one, blah, blah, blah. It's like the things that we're talking about, things that I told you about, essentially make it impossible for Deion Sanders to have the one trait that Eli Manning had that separates him from the majority of quarterbacks who ever played the game, which is a knowledge of the game at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
If he can't do these things that I'm telling you about, there's no way he can do any of these high level quarterback things.
Well, look, let's not forget Deion. Okay. So let's address the Deion issue. I have been a Deion guy since, the 90s, growing up with him. But doesn't mean this is how you should raise your kid. Like as far as Deion basically tried to groom a star NFL quarterback. Obviously, he had Tom Brady working with him hands on. But here's my thing on all that. Deion is great at, for lack of a better term, marketing. And we all fell for it as far as like, oh, Shedeur might be the real deal. It might be the real deal. NFL teams aren't falling for that. The smoke and mirrors is what I'm saying. It's like he's put on a great presentation at a business, basically. And a lot of people fall for it, but the smart, savvy business guy's like, well, what are the numbers behind this?
Right.
And that's kind of what it is with him. It's like
But and I think what it is, I think what people aren't understanding is that they're all looking at, they're like, it's Dion. This is punishing Dion. And then it's about him being spoiled. It's about his ego. And then they're like,
Yeah.
it's about his footwork. It's about that he never beat a ranked team. It's about that. Well, Johnny Manziel had an ego. Well, Archie Manning was involved. Well, it's not those things. It's all of them. It's all of them together.
But he even you know, it's funny. Like Johnny Manziel has been brought up a lot. I'm like, dude, you say what you want. He won the Heisman, right? He went into Tuscaloosa, put up numbers to beat, I believe, that at the time the number one ranked. Shedeur did none of this.
And stunk when he got to the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even fair to compare those two's college careers. It's not fair to compare Tim Tebow's college career with Shedeur Sanders. Like it's not even close. I just think like Dion, he's your kid. But like the just lack of reading the room. I mean, this was last night. The day he gets drafted. You know, they're holding up Louis Vuitton. What, I don't even know what it is. Like what would that be? What is that stuff?
Trunks.
I was told it was like $100,000 cash or something. It's like, dude, you're a 5th round pick. You're not making any money this year. It's like, read the room. You're not Dion. You're not your dad is one of the best athletes of all time. He really is. One of the best cornerbacks of all time. You ain't your dad, bro. You ain't your dad. Read the room. Browns are idiots. I mean, I don't know why they took him.
Because it's, who cares? 5th round, who for 144th pick? Who cares?
True.
And again, they're going to go through 5 quarterbacks. Here's the other thing. Nobody knows what he's going to be.
And he could be great. Yeah, nobody knows.
He could be great. He's probably not going to be great because he got drafted by the Browns. That's already putting him behind the 8 ball more than any other thing. But the conversation around why he dropped, this guy, Manziel, was like this. Eli was like this. Tebow was like this. This guy was like this. This quarterback here. It's all those things. He's all those things. His dad's interfering like Archie. He has Johnny Manziel's ego. He has bad footwork and Phillip Rivers' fucking throwing motion. He's got all the things, and the interviews anonymously hear information that I'm essentially telling you, anonymous information I have. Horrible.
Bad. I mean, everything posted showed he was disinterested in interviews. I mean, there's so many different things out there.
And this is a bad quarterback draft class.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna take this guy at 3 when you can just take, for example, the Giants? Why are you gonna take this guy at 3 when you can take Jackson Dart at the end of the 1st round? And then if that doesn't work out, you can try it again next year.
Yeah.
It's a bad quarterback class.
It's really bad.
If it was a good quarterback class, he would have fallen this far just because it was a good quarterback class.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody wants to do this thing. Andy, I said it last. I'll say 2 things that I'm going to repeat from last episode that people need to remember. You're not a top prospect because you say you are. That's not how it works. Okay? They said it. He said it. ESPN jumped on the bandwagon of like putting the Colorado on. We are supporters of what Dion did at Colorado. We love that he took the rules that college football has essentially turned itself into and was like, fine, if you're going to do that, I'm going to take advantage of it. We couldn't have been bigger supporters of Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. But just because you baited a bunch of bloggers into trying to predict that you would go high doesn't make you a top prospect. You're not a top prospect because you say you are and because mock draft guys say you are. Trevor Lawrence was a top prospect because all the guys out there, all the fucking people, the former GMs and the current GMs going, I've never seen a quarterback prospect like this in my life. That makes you a top prospect. When the guys who fucking say it, when the guys who really matter are saying, I don't know, a lot of people have Shedeur 2 behind whatever. I have him as a third rounder. I have him as a second rounder. That was happening way before the draft happened. The other thing that I'll say that I said last episode is the idea of making this some sort of racial thing is at this point insane. Like, I am the world's foremost outspoken critic of the racist NFL. No one went harder about Colin Kaepernick than I did, including fucking Colin Kaepernick. No one, like, oh, remember when the guy said fucking the NFL's the modern day slave owners? Like, how dare you? I say that shit. I say that shit all the time. The NFL's owners are modern day slave owners. I say it all the time.
Which is a wild take to me.
It's a wild. You could say it's wild. Oh, they make millions and millions of dollars. Well, actually, they don't. They make like $400,000 until they're in a certain year. And then also, by the way, if you get hurt fucking out in the fields, you're immediately cut, and you'll never see any of that money ever again. So, and there's like 3 guys on any team that actually get paid. Anyway, my point is the idea, the first overall pick was a black quarterback. There's literally more black or mixed quarterbacks starting for NFL teams today than there are white guys. This is not teaching some racial lesson. This is not teaching Shedeur Sanders some lesson about ego. Can you imagine if NFL owners stopped drafting guys who had like huge egos? It'd just be me and you playing football.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? This is all of the things. This is the ego, the interviews, the tape, the footwork, his career, his dad, his money. It's all of the things in one thing. And it made for a super fall. But also, again, it didn't really make for a super fall. It made for a super fall beyond where Mel Kiper, who's getting paid to say he was the second best quarterback in the draft. That's what he fell from.
Well, I sent you a video, one that's been circulating. I'm not going to play it because it's about 3 minutes. It's from Tiki Barber on his radio show. And I think he makes some interesting points. He's talking about Shedeur, but he's also talking about the current state of person that's going to the NFL from college. And he makes a lot of points of like, a lot of these guys have made millions of dollars already. It affects you. It affects your drive. It affects your willingness, and it might affect your work ethic. That's the truth. Like, if you've already tasted wealth, if you've already tasted 7 figures at 19, 20, 21 years old, right? It's not, hey, I go to the NFL, like you're saying. They can cut you. You get that rookie contract, and then you're done. So, like, I think it is going to affect some of these guys. And somebody like a Shedeur, it's like, and a lot of these guys, it's like, they don't just view themselves just as football players, which, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm not saying you should just be a football player. I'm not saying you should pigeonhole yourself. But the point is, the all those things, I'll just say it, aren't a Tom Brady being drafted, aren't a Peyton Manning, aren't a Patrick Mahomes. All these guys aren't an Aaron Rodgers. Like, just based off Shedeur, and maybe I'm wrong, I'll say this. Those guys probably, and I've heard Tom Brady talk about it, those guys winning wasn't as, like, those guys, the losing is what those guys still focus on. If you ask Peyton Manning, you're like, hey, man, he's going to bring up not winning Super Bowls. He's going to bring up the times he didn't win. And that's like a fucking dog mentality. I don't think anybody like a Shedeur Sanders has it. He just doesn't have that, in my opinion.
Well, that's the one thing, I guess, the one, I know everybody's probably like, oh, this whole Prano saying some shit without saying some shit. I'll say one thing from the info. Apparently, the dude made $12 million in college.
Exactly. And that goes to that point. $12 million already on NIL or endorsement.
That's more than Russell Wilson's going to make for the Giants this year. So so again, you're bringing in a guy to sit behind fucking a quarterback he made more than in college?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you saw a post. People were like, I guess he could have had one more year of eligibility. People were literally making that comment. You would have made way more staying in school.
But this was the weak quarterback draft.
Yeah. We got to talk about the prank call. Which
this is and this is where, okay, go ahead. Yeah, you want to play it first?
I'll play the call. I'll play it from the Ole Miss frat boys.
So he got his own phone just for execs to call him. He basically got his draft bat phone.
So Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons, his son, Jax, 21-year-old, stole it from his dad's open iPad when he was visiting. And he took the number, and then this is what happened. Him and his homeboys staged it as Mickey Loomis, I think, the GM of the Saints. That's his son on the left who stole it. But you'll hear amazing acting here by these Ole Miss frat bros.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints.
So, by the way, he sounds so confident there. This is
How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
It's gonna be legendary.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
okay. So
let me just like again, we just did this whole thing, and again, none of anything I said before. None of it is like, I don't have any problem with Shedeur Sanders as like a person or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to explain to people, this isn't, stop with the conspiracy theories. There's all these things. I hope these kids get hit by a bus.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I hope these fucking kids, like, what's funny about it? And I've made some fucking insane prank phone calls in my life. But this is like, what's the fucking end game here? You like, here's the thing. I've made some fucking nasty phone calls in my life, but you're picking a fucking name out of a phone book and you're doing a thing. I get that they're kids, and that's when I did some fucking horrible prank phone calls on you, but you're picking a guy to what? It's just fucking lame.
Like, here's my thing. I'm not like anti prank phone call either. I used to do that shit back in the day as well. I don't find it funny at all. Like,
right.
Like there's, and I'm not trying to like take this like, oh, comedic high ground here. I'll be honest.
Make it funny.
That's what I'm saying. Make it funny. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, dude, prank call, that wasn't funny. Like, I saw it. Of course, my phone was blowing up. Dirt balls were all sending me it, and I was like, Okay, but like, again, he's not confident. He's nervous. He's stuttering. It kind of just goes back to everything we know. It's like Shedeur ain't the brightest, man. He's being
Yeah.
coddled because like he's unsure. He's like, I don't know. It's just
The best part of a prank phone call is when you take them to a place
yes,
where they should know it's a prank phone call, but they
and they
don't,
don't.
and they keep going.
Yes.
You know, you're calling from the Saints.
Hey man, you like Cajun food?
Yeah.
You like jambalaya?
Yeah.
You're gonna be
What's
eating
your
lots
favorite? What's your favorite kind of jambalaya?
You're gonna be eating lots of jambalaya now, Shedeur.
Yeah. You ever play any brass instruments?
Yeah.
No. Make me a sound of a trumpet with your mouth.
Exactly.
Come on. I know
Go
you
there.
can. I know you can do.
Go there.
Give me a little Louis Armstrong, Shedeur. Come on. Sing "What a Wonderful World" for me. Because you're going to the Saints. It is a wonderful world. You're going to the Saints. Dude, give me a little Louis Armstrong. Not just like, you're going to have to wait longer. We got the black guy.
Yeah, it just what that's what I'm saying. It was so short. It wasn't funny. You guys can all think it's fun. Like anybody online is like, oh, I'm like, but it's not. It was weak. They got the number.
Yeah.
They didn't execute.
Yeah.
Pretty weak. Totally lame. And obviously that's just like a side story. Now you also risk your dad's like job doing this shit. Livelihood.
And you put it on the fucking, you put video of it up.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's not the first guy for this to happen to. I think it's pretty messed up. Like we're prank calling dudes about something they've dreamed of. Why?
Listen, again, because I have friends who listen to the show who are going to be like, motherfucker used to send people's parents to Harlem to pick up their kid who they thought was in a fucking hiding in a phone booth after a drug deal gone bad. And I'm like, yeah, but that's layered.
It's also kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like it's so dark, it's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny.
exactly.
It's funny. It's so dark. Not like you're gonna have to wait longer. Oh, we got him. We got him. We got him. But you didn't get him. He's literally celebrating with stacks of the $12 million that he made in his career in Colorado. You should have been like, you really want to play for us? Leave that legendary party right now. Hop on a flight. Play a whole game with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and to me, to like, again, to pull a random name or pull a random number and do something to like make your friends laugh is one thing. To like go out of your way to be like, yo, it would be funny if we try to ruin this dude's fucking huge moment. It's not dark. It's just fucking mean.
Yeah. It's just not, again, there's not much comedic value to it. It's pretty weak. You know, I want to pivot away from him for a second. Here's something that has comedic value. And I think this was not this year's draft. I think this was an old draft, but I saw this video circulate and I had to laugh. Lawrence Taylor, you ever seen this the night he got drafted?
Yeah. It's amazing.
This is a great video.
Take us back to your draft day. What do you remember from the day that you were drafted?
I don't remember too much. I had 41 Coors Lights, so I couldn't tell you.
You remember 41?
Yeah, I remember 41.
You remember 41, but you don't remember what happened.
Don't really remember what happened. I just know it was an exciting time, but it wasn't like this. You know, it was old school, and I mean, I wasn't in New York or anything. I just caught it on TV like everybody else. So,
did you get a phone call? Did you have your family around you?
Excuse me?
Did you get a phone call? You had your family around you?
I had my drinking buddies with me.
The end.
Now, okay, he called his legendary. Now that is legendary.
Yeah.
Shedeur, what Lawrence Taylor did, 41 Coors Lights.
somewhere from above, Fernando Valenzuela is like, "That's lunch, bro. That's lunch, fool."
And then that was the stepping stone to crack and cocaine.
Yeah.
Started with the chorus, now we're here, and he's just lighting up a pipe.
That's like 26 Miller Lights at maximum, because those Coors Lights are water. You need that golden Pilsner.
Wild, man.
Yeah, that's insane.
It is a lot now.
And we talked about it. Going to the first round of the draft. But the guys who were there for the fifth round of the draft.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
WNBA game or the NFL draft? We have to have done this before.
I'm going WNBA game.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think we have done this before. I'm going to WNBA game. We've never been, and for me it'd be like
how good are they?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have there's a curiosity there, and it's like, who's sitting courtside? Who's attending this? What are the food prices like? Do any of the girls have bulges in their pants? Like I don't know. Like I'm looking for things. I know what I'm going to see at the NFL draft.
Okay, I want to put you in a position where, like, because let's be honest, the people who go to the NFL draft, like if you got on a plane or went in a car and came from Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or New York or wherever, you're literally, you said it, you hate your wife, you hate your family.
Yeah.
But the NFL draft comes to Cincinnati. And on that day, you're presented with a couple of different, like, this or that's. So WNBA game in Cincinnati or NFL draft in Cincinnati, you're going WNBA game. Yeah. College softball game or NFL draft.
I might go college softball game. I mean, I really didn't hesitate. I know you take the super fan who dresses like a Bengal tiger, and you just copy and paste that to every team. Oh, yeah. Now you're dressed as a Detroit Lion. Yeah. Now you're dressed, pick a team. Now you're dressed as a bear for the Bears. It's like,
all right, no taking Isla. You can't take Isla. This is just you and one good buddy that you would go to like a football game with. Yeah, he's like, we got to go to one of these things. Start what's required. Disney on Ice or NFL draft?
There might be some hotties to Disney on Ice. I'm going there.
Also, you take a 5 milligram edible, all of a sudden you're having the time of your life at Disney on Ice.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm not having the time of my life. It's and obviously the NFL, it's all orchestrated. Like, you'll see the quote unquote super fans on camera. The NFL does that, right? Like, they invite to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
The super fans for each team.
Yeah.
And I saw
license plate guy at the
That's
draft.
What I'm saying. So it's like all orchestrated. And I'm just like, man, this is like it's almost depressing for me to see that. I'm like, you went to the draft.
Yeah.
I'd love, like I said, bucket list, go to Green Bay to see a game. Go see a Packer game, December, January, in the snow, bucket list. That'd be awesome. A game, not a draft. What are you doing? You think it's almost like, like a furry convention or like other draft attendees meet? Like is there a hookup scene there? Is there a matching scene?
For sure, right?
I picture lots of gay dudes then, right? The gay
it's like the Republican National Convention, the NFL draft, like fucking causes Grindr to go down.
The gay bear, play on words there intended, meets the gay Bengal tiger while their wives are at home. Oh man, that's what they should do. They should have the NFL draft in like the gayest district of a city, like Boys Town, Chicago. Like the draft's coming to Boys Town. it just got me thinking. Well, what did what did DJ Sizzle DM me there? He sent me the funniest shit. I don't even know what the context was. It was that scene in Sopranos where they find what's his name? He's in
The leather bar.
He's at the leather bar dragging around some dude. And I could not stop laughing. I was like, man, I haven't seen this scene in a while. And then he just says it's a joke.
Yeah.
And it cuts off there. But if I recall correctly from the show they gave, it's like, joke. What do you do? You know?
Yeah.
He gets all mad.
He's like, what's the joke? You sucking this guy's cack?
Man, I mean, I see that. I'm like, I gotta watch Sopranos again. Like,
you do.
Like, do I gotta watch it for a third time?
Probably.
Like a third go around on this?
Probably.
By the way, I really don't have much else to say about the draft. Like,
yeah,
my take is the same take I have every year. Guys, we don't know until these guys pan out, most of them. We don't know.
My thing with the NFL draft and most of the drafts, honestly, the NBA draft, like less so the NBA, the NFL really more than anything, because like, you know, you have these defensive linemen, you have these offensive linemen. It's like those guys, they're going to be beasts, whatever. But then like your team stinks and you have an offense that, like, then you're just Anthony Munoz, where it's like, oh, cool, you dominate. Your team stinks the whole time you're fucking there. Basically, like, you're like, okay, you're just like living in whatever. But for these quarterbacks, these receivers, these running backs, like the skill position players that get all the hype of, oh, look who we got. It's a combination of like, are you going to pan out? And then like, also, where did you go?
What do you think about the trade that the Browns did for Travis Hunter? Like getting rid of that. And
yeah, great. They didn't want, they got draft capital.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they got a first next year.
They did.
Also, what does like a lockdown corner do for the fucking?
Well, that's what I say. I agree.
Cleveland Browns.
You don't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
actually,
shit. Like
you do. You have 5.
Yeah, 5.
You have 5 of them. You had a basketball team's worth.
Yeah, the Browns have like you like. It's the same thing, It's the same thing. My Giants. I did a live with Tyler Dunn from Go Long, and he was like, "What can the Giants do to get you excited for 2025?" And I was like, "Nothing." I was like, "Who could they get if they traded up and they got Cam Ward?" I'm like, "Oh, well, he's gonna die." Like, weak quarterback draft. Like, I was like, nothing. Yeah. Honestly, I would say the Giants did about as good as they could do to try to get me excited. I was like, I'm intrigued.
I saw a lot of people had them like a top 5 draft class.
Now, did you see you brought up the Lawrence Taylor thing? Did we already talk about this? Him talking about wanting Lawrence Taylor's number, Abdul Carter.
No, I didn't see that.
They were like, there was like things like, what number you want? He's like, I got a number in mind. And they were like, what do you think? He's like, 56. And Lawrence Taylor was like, yeah, no. Lawrence Taylor was like, go make your own number. It's retired.
Yeah. Arguably the greatest defensive player of all time. You can't, like, what are you doing?
I would say inarguably. Yeah, but.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, Warren Moon unretired one for Cam Ward. And
yeah, Warren Moon's great. Warren Moon's a Hall of Famer. He's not Lawrence Taylor of his position or of one side of the ball. Come on.
Yeah. So Lawrence Taylor was like, I don't care if you wear 00, make it your own. Get that retired.
Yeah.
Make it great. He's like, it's retired.
He should be like, why don't you choose the number of the girls I solicit prostitutes?
Yeah.
Pick 15.
He's like, why don't you wear 41? That's how many Coors Lights I had on draft day. And what's funny is I think he wore 11 in college, which Micah Parsons also wore. Like, maybe that's like a thing that the Penn State does. But that's also retired. Phil Simms wore 11.
Clyde Ross Sims was 11. Yeah, I don't know. I again, like like I'm to the point now, guys, with the mock draft stuff from especially the Joe Schmo. Like you're like, do something with your life, man. I'm sorry. Like there's so many people out here doing their mock drafts and their analysis. And it's like, again, we don't know. Do you remember how hard the Lions got drilled when they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs? Everybody called it stupid. And dude, look how good he is. Look how good he is. I don't know. Now, granted, do I make jokes about the Bengals like with my buddies all the time? Yeah, like
here,
like,
listen. The thing is, it's borderline impossible unless you devote your entire life to it, and even then, it's borderline impossible. There's such a difference between college football and the NFL that you can't actually watch all these guys snaps. You could be a college football expert, but then you're not an NFL expert, and vice versa. Like when I was a kid, like I would be a better NFL GM when I was 12 than I would be today because I watched college football and I watched the NFL and whatever. It's like, who's got the time? Who's got the time? Like, I watch a ton of college football. It's like, cool, but you don't know what shit's going on in the NFL. And proof of that is all these guys were like, oh, Shedeur Sanders this, Shedeur Sanders that, or Jackson Dart this, or Jackson Dart that. And then the GMs go, we don't agree.
yeah.
Pro style offense versus not pro style offense versus like whatever. It's like, dude, there's so many college football teams. So to me, I look at it more of like, again, I kind of have these rules in terms of I like it when I don't want your quarterback that was on some dominant SEC team that was never like, I don't want Ken Dorsey. Oh, you've never had a grass stain on your uniform in college? I don't want you.
Yeah. So I agree. Let's talk a little NBA playoffs.
Let's do it.
So things are now we're heading to the second round here pretty soon for a lot of these series.
Well, Oklahoma City's headed to the second round. They swept.
Yeah.
Cleveland's basically headed to the second round. I think they didn't sweep quite yet. They're 3-0.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, they're 3-0.
Yeah.
But I'm saying a lot of these 3-1 series, I would say, are done.
Yeah.
Like your Knicks, it's like 3-1.
Now, there's a lot of controversy. Did you see the controversy at the end of the game, Andy?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's hilarious because of two things. One, if these refs weren't swallowing their whistle, this series is already over. This is only a series, and listen, I'm all for it. Again, I'm not a ref complainer. I'm all for. I like a play by the rules. My general feeling on referees is by the book. Then you don't get into these questions of you can't make that call here, you can't make that call there, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. Jalen Brunson is an unethical hooper. Okay, but he's playing within the rules. But if the refs weren't let them play in this series is already over. Now, I will give the refs one thing. They're being consistent. They're being consistent, and they're being consistent across the board. But this series is already over if they're going by the book. And also, I find it hilarious that every time Jalen Brunson touches the ball, the crowd is booing him. The crowd is yelling, fuck Jalen Brunson, because one of the main things that they're complaining about, and one of the main things JB Bickerstaff is complaining about, and one of the main things like the NBA haters are complaining about is he initiates contact by getting you in the air and then jumping into you. And then you want that call at the end of the game? Now, again, that was a foul at the end of the game. And I am a guy who goes, go by the rule book. We never have to have these conversations. Unfortunately, that's not the way many of these sports umpire or referee or call games. They kind of set their own tone. Watching the Boston Orlando series and watching the Knicks Detroit series is like watching two different sports. The Knicks Detroit series is let them play. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Your ass got swept if they were refereeing this like Celtics Magic. But you're 3-1 and every game's a dogfight because they're letting it play. They're letting some of these ticky-tacky things go. They're not calling all of these. They're not letting Jalen Brunson, quote-unquote, foul bait. And now you're crying because Tim Hardaway Jr. foul baited and didn't get the call. I love it. So, yeah, get fucked.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. I mean, the ref thing is just, a lot of times it's such an easy cop-out for people to complain about.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the Laker game, like, to me, that's a dicey call. The end.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? The LeBron, Anthony Edwards foul? Like, don't you think? Like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, that could go either way.
Absolutely. And
Right.
I got to say, I was watching that game. So I watched the Knicks game this morning at home, and then I went to Ojai with my fiance. She had a thing, and then we went to a bar and we watched the second half of the game. So I didn't have sound. So at first I'm like, oh, it's clearly off Minnesota. Like it hits him and it hits his foot and it's off Minnesota. It was literally not until like the 8th replay I was like, are they looking for a foul?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's crazy. So yeah, I thought that was absolutely a borderline.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know.
But again, as long as you're consistent, to me, the easiest way to be consistent is call it by the rule book.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The going back and looking at it is I don't know. I struggle sometimes with that too. It's like I feel like you're looking at so many different things, and I don't know. It slows the game down.
I'll also say, and listen, JB Bickerstaff, I don't know how it works with fouls and whatever. Then, if you are a head coach of an NBA basketball team, and I truly mean this, if you're the head coach of an NBA basketball team and you use your challenge before 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, I don't think that you deserve to be an NBA basketball coach. I think you should be fired on the spot immediately. Third possession of the game, we're challenging it out of bounds. Why? Why? How does it help you? You'll never remember it 2 hours from now. You'll never remember this play.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not talking about fourth quarter. I'm talking about last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a tough loss for the Lakers. Like you're down 3-1, man. That's like you're not coming back from that, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
It's just it sucks. It's like, yeah, you'd want to see a good series play out.
I think it'll still be. I think the Lakers win the next. I think the Lakers win the next game at home.
Yeah, I would say so too. But it's like, oh, are they gonna win 2 in a row to make this go 7? And then it brings all those question marks for next year. And you got Luka. It's like, does LeBron come back?
Well, LeBron's signed through next year.
Yeah, I mean, he can still go to retire, I guess, though.
Yeah, LeBron's doing a farewell tour.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're probably right. He's doing a farewell book tour. He needs to do a book in every city.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an author does a book sit down, like a reading.
Yeah, like when we went and saw Bill Walton's.
Yeah. By the way, I'm so glad you brought him up. I forgot to mention this last episode. I was wearing the Bill Walton shirt, the tie-dye one.
Uh-huh.
And my daughter Isla is like big in what's that or who's that.
Okay.
Like even when she knows, it's just, I think she just likes to say it. So anyway, I had her up in the morning and I was like, she's big into books now and like reading her books when she wakes up or before bed. And I'm reading her a book and she must have to ask me a million times. She just kept pointing. She's sitting on my lap. Who's that? Who's that, Daddy? And I was like, that's Bill Walton. And she's like, Bill Walton? Saying to her like, broken bad. I'm trying to learn the English language, 2-year-old talk. And she just kept saying it, Bill Walton? And I was like, what's he spinning? She's like, basketball. I'm like, yeah. And then I just kept picturing, like my mind was literally just like going off to another place of like picturing Bill talk to my daughter.
You could have called me. Be like, hello, Isla. This is NBA Hall of Famer Bill Walton. I hear you go to daycare. I once needed daycare. I was on the floor eating my cereal out of a bowl like a dog. You ever eat your cereal like a dog, Isla? I heard you have a little sister. Here's something important. Never throw her down.
She would love that, actually.
I've heard your grandfather's returned as a goose. I'd love to be a goose. They fly. I've also always enjoyed visiting Canada. I've always wanted to fly south for the winter. Oh, imagine spending the winter in beautiful San Diego and then returning to beautiful Vancouver come spring. Oh, Isla, what a day it would be. I would never fly over Ohio. I'll tell you that much.
Wow. Shots fired. The girls
up and down the Conference of Champions. That's where I'd fly. I'd fly from Eugene all the way down to San Diego State.
Well, that you would go Ohio because all those schools are in the Big Ten now. So you gotta divert there, Bill. UCLA Big Ten, USC Big Ten, Oregon Big Ten.
That's what killed me, Isla. USC joining the Big Ten was my time to tap out on the ethereal plane we call life.
Oh my God. Yeah. He didn't last too much longer when they did that conference realignment.
No.
He's like, I'm peace out. I'm done. I'm done with this.
He was a disappearing black guy meme after that.
What is that from, by the way?
I have no idea.
What is the disappearing?
There's so many memes. I have no idea what their base is.
I mean,
and yet I use them. Like I'll use them regularly.
And you have no clue.
I have no idea what the smirking black keyboardist is. No idea. Clue. No idea where he's from.
Yeah. I don't even know the Alonzo Mourning. I don't know the context. Like when was that? What was that a playoff game? Was that what's the context of that? No one knows.
No one knows.
What other NBA stuff do we want to jump into?
Well, yeah. So Lakers have their back against wall. Well, how about the end of that Clippers Nuggets game?
That's one of the wildest endings I've ever seen.
It's wild. It was awesome. I have gone back and forth on who I think is going to win that series so many times.
Yeah.
I said Nuggets in 7. I'm leaning toward Clippers in 7 now.
Wow. Steve Ballmer loves that.
Yeah. I'm leaning toward Clippers in 7 now. I just think here's the thing about that series is like the Clippers have so much more depth, but then they're the Clippers. But then the Nuggets, every win the Nuggets get is like a miracle win. But then it's like, oh, do they just like miracle win the whole series because it's the Clippers? I think I'm on Clippers in 7 at this point. I mean, I said Nuggets in 7, so it's like I made my bed, you know what I mean? But I think it might be Clippers now. Because I also go back to like, in a game 7, what's worse? Just the Clippers' history or the fact that your head coach has been your head coach for 11 games? Like, we forget that they fired their coach 4 games to go in the season.
Yeah. I know, which makes me think like you'd want to lean towards the Clippers, considering the changes that they had at the very end of the season.
Indiana's up, what, 20 on the
Let me see.
20 on the Bucks with 9 minutes to go, so that's about to be 3-1.
Yeah. Look at Indiana after we talk shit about the courtside seats there.
Well, I still wouldn't want them.
Okay, here's something. To go back to your question. Where you want to sit courtside? Indiana Fever to see Caitlin Clark or Indiana Pacers?
Ooh.
Because that could be an experience seeing Caitlin Clark.
Sure. Okay, set the scene for me. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't give a fuck if it's game 7 of the WNBA finals or a preseason. Like, the quality of the WNBA game means nothing to me. I won't care any more about it if it's for the championship or the 4th game of the season. Who are the Pacers playing in this game? Is it a playoff game?
No, it's a regular season game.
Regular season game against, pick a team.
Toronto Raptors.
I'm taking Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, right?
But that's about, like, there's like 3 teams I'd probably do. Because the other teams, you know, any team that has a player that I like, that would be must see, even like borderline must see, I would still watch an NBA game, because watching an NBA game courtside is pretty awesome. But Indiana, Toronto on like a Wednesday in January, give me courtside seats for Caitlin Clark. Because again, it's an experience. I just sat courtside for Knicks Lakers on TNT. Halliburton versus fucking whoever the fuck's on the Raptors these days ain't doing it for me.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go to a Fever game. I'll think to drive to Indiana. Catch a Fever game.
Catch fever.
Yeah.
Take Isla.
Yeah. Sure she'll last. 2-year-old.
Yeah. Will you take Isla to like a Reds game at some point, you think?
Yeah. Maybe this summer.
This summer.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
I think she'll like it. I actually bought a Reds hoodie at Costco.
You bought her a Reds hoodie at Costco.
No, I bought one for myself. Look at me.
Oh, wow. You're like, no, fuck them kids.
They don't have anything for kids. I was like, I need another hoodie because I don't have enough. I was like, $30? Spring training hoodie? I went to Costco on a Saturday. You talk about ballsy.
Talk about fucking my nightmare.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to the draft.
Would you?
Yeah. Dude, that is my legit nightmare.
You'd rather go to the draft than Costco.
Being in like big, large places where people are just consuming gives me, it's everything I hate about life.
Well, I on a Saturday, yeah, I don't normally. This is like, that's a rookie move. I always say, the pros know I'm a pro. You go I can't do this anymore now with my schedule with my kids. But you go the last hour, they're open. That was my move when I lived in California.
The last hour, Costco's open.
Oh, nobody's there. Close at 8:30.
It's like me. That's like me at the gym these days. I got the closest location of my gym is, I have like 2 that are relatively close. One in Ventura is like definitely better. I go there when I can, but there's a close one, And now my thing is I'm going in the last hour. If I don't go in the last hour, it is just a Mexican bonanza. There's so many Mexicans in fucking slides lifting weights. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm like, can a man fucking get a set of dumbbells?
Yeah, I don't want to deal with all that shit.
No one in the pool, shocker, ever. So I'm always like, well, I literally always bring my pool stuff just in case, even if I don't have pool on the plans, because I'm like, well, if it's just a bonanza in there, I'm just swimming.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I got a discussion I want to have based on what's happening right now in Major League Baseball and also the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
Like I did a little dive on it. So I don't know if you're following this. The Bananas are on like a country tour.
Mm-hmm. I saw they sold out the Clemson football stadium.
Look at this. So they saw this. 81,000 people. Now you're like, okay, Savannah, who knows? It's probably not that far. This is south. It's not that far from Clemson. It's just in South Carolina. So in your head, you're like, oh, okay. They're still. I just look at their schedule. They're still not everything. They have two games in Cincinnati, at Great American Ballpark, instantly sold out, like within an hour. So I'm like, okay. So like their reach, you look at their schedule, you're like, okay, they're selling out everywhere. Football stadiums, baseball stadiums. Then I was like, what's their social like? They got 3 million YouTube subscribers, 3 million Instagram followers.
Yeah. I mean, it's all there. That's the whole thing is their socials.
But this is my point that I want to make about baseball, and I think you're probably going to agree. Dude, this is insane. It'd be like if they're more popular. Like I don't know, I'm being sarcastic, but I'm like, it'd be like if the Harlem Globetrotters were more popular than the NBA. That's what I can't get over. I'm like I pulled it up. I'm like, how many Instagram followers do the Cincinnati Reds have? 750,000. I'm like, okay, so the Savannah Bananas, an entertainment baseball, again, the baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters, has 3 times the following of a professional team. I know the Reds aren't like a big market; they're a small market, but the point still. My point is that like this is embarrassing for baseball, and maybe you don't agree with me, but I want to put it. I want to put. We've done a lot of hypotheticals. Let's do the Braves because they would be the closest team. Do the Braves sell out Clemson Stadium?
Probably, but
You think they're putting 81,000 if they're doing a game against the Marlins?
probably because the experience of it all. But I don't think the Braves are selling out a nationwide tour. Going to like if they played only fucking crazy venues, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's kind of like my take on this is that it's like an interesting indictment of, I don't know. But I mean, I'm looking like, I mean, Joe, they're selling out. These are the games coming up. The stadiums that I know. Nissan Stadium in Nashville, where the Titans play, sold out. Kansas City, where the Royals play, sold out. Angel Stadium. So my point is, it's going all over the country, sold out. Where the
Now wait, let me go. Show me that clip again.
like it's freaking insane. Let's pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I want you to pause it.
You want me to go back?
No, I want you to tell me. You sitting there for a Savannah Bananas game?
Fuck no.
Yeah. So it's like there's also like, from a sports fan's standpoint, like, You sitting in the top deck of a football stadium to watch the Harlem Globetrotters play baseball? Like, I honestly don't know who. Like, there's an old guy out there with a banana shirt on, bro. If there was a literal banana on the field, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah.
So, it's an indictment of baseball.
I mean, it kind of is, though, right?
Okay. But
my point is, you can't take other sports. That's all I'm trying to say. This is my point about baseball, and Major League Baseball in particular, obviously. My point is, you couldn't do the banana version of basketball or football. I mean, again, we're talking NFL stadiums, and we're talking all over the country.
But let me ask you something, and this isn't a dig at this guy, but you were in LA for a long time. You were in comedy for a long time. You crossed paths with this guy. Morgan J selling out arenas in fucking Stockholm, Sweden. Is it an indictment on stand-up comedy that we're just doing auto tune talking to the crowd with a guitar in our hand? It's not baseball.
I see your point. Do you see mine though of using other sports, like other major sports? And it's just, let me put it this way. And something else that I thought of. We talked about hockey, and then hockey is like, it seems to be doing pretty well with attendance and I think ratings. Hockey does these games, right, where they play at Wrigley Field, or
Yeah.
they play at Michigan Stadium or Ohio State Stadium, or wherever they play. It creates a lot of hoopla. People like me who don't watch hockey, I'm like,
you're sort of, yeah. Now we're mixing messages here. I just came on this show when I got back from Sacramento. I said they should play every Major League Baseball team should be forced to play a home series at one of their minor league ballparks. Major League Baseball, we agree, needs to do.
I was going to say the opposite.
What do you mean?
I was going to say, like, why can't you play it in a cool venue? Now, I know the Reds are playing the Braves at a racetrack this year. And I'm like, okay, there's novelty that creates interest. Now, the minor leagues is cool too, but do you see my point was like, hockey is doing this in some massive venue.
Sure.
I think it's cool if baseball would do more of that as well.
For sure. I mean, but listen, they did the Field of Dreams. They do the Field of Dreams game. They're trying. They need, for sure, baseball needs more of this, but baseball doesn't need the pitchers doing the Macarena. Because it's a separate thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we have a Alex from Kentucky update. He's alive. He just popped in the YouTube comment section. Alex from Kentucky, you were there. He said, no, the first one. I'm done with Stephen A. and Ryan Clark, Mel Kiper. Their takes on Shedeur are just flat out dumb. Wait until you see how he brings Tennessee into this. Cam Moore was the first pick. Remember, Will Levis fell in the back of the draft because of arrogance and entitlement.
Also, Will Levis sucks.
Alex from Kentucky, where have you been? Where have you been?
Also, Alex from Kentucky, how's that fucking Titans team going, dog? You remember when you were like
last year at this time
celebrating the Mike Vrabel firing? You just had the first overall pick.
Bro, Joe said all the money in the world I will pay you, however many seasons Vrabel had. And you said the new coach is not going to have as many wins.
And they just had the first overall pick. This dude's still talking about Will Levis. You know why you have the first overall pick and just drafted another quarterback? Because Will Levis sucks, and so does your coach. Fucking, I can't believe. I didn't think he was dead. I just thought he was hiding, and with good reason. Holy shit!
He went on an Aaron Rodgers retreat for the entire season.
Fucking,
My boy went on an Aaron Rodgers retreat into the mountains of Nevada.
isn't their coach fucking? Who's their coach again? Bill Callahan's kid.
Yeah, it's the Bengals.
Bo Callahan.
It's Bill Callahan. It's the
Is their head coach the fictional diva quarterback from draft day?
It's the former Bengals offensive coordinator who didn't even call the plays. Yeah.
The first overall pick.
First overall pick.
They were the worst team in football last year.
Yeah. And Mike Vrabel got scooped right up by the Patriots. They were like, oh, we made a mistake with Gerard Mayo. And we got scooped Vrabel right up and turned this ship around.
They're like, we didn't know the Titans were stupid. Why didn't you tell us you're going to fire Mike Vrabel?
Scoop this guy right the fuck up.
I'll tell you who's not getting scooped up by somebody else. Will Levis. Holy shit.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere. Actually, I could see the Browns signing him. Fuck it. Why not do half a dozen? Let's just do 6 quarterbacks. Just do 6 quarterbacks.
Well, Deshaun Watson's just like never going to set foot on an NFL field again, right?
I've said it. I said it. I'll be honest. I feel like I was the only one when he got that injury last year. I think I was the only one who was like, he's never playing the NFL again. And people were like, what? I'm like, he's not. He's not playing the NFL because he sucks and he has baggage.
Yeah.
2 things you don't want. You suck and you have baggage. And by baggage, I mean dildos. He's asking girls to shove in his butthole during a massage.
Alex from Kentucky is to Will Levis what Mel Kiper is to Shedeur Sanders. Who from the Levis family gave you $11 in Starbucks gift cards to fucking stand for him for so hard? Remember last year, like right on the heels of Alex Kentucky fucking talking about every game Will Levis would make the dumbest play in NFL history? Remember that? For like 6 weeks straight? For 6 weeks straight, it was like, and then Tennessee lost again today when Will Levis stood on his head and spun like a top and let the ball fart out his asshole directly to a receiver.
Oh my
Return
God,
for
so
a pick
true.
6.
I bet Alex from Kentucky would be sitting on top of the like, hey, they're coming to Tennessee, man. I know you're not from there. I don't think you're even living there. You go to Nashville. Go to that. Get an upper deck. Go see the Savannah Bananas.
I'm all for I'm so in favor of the Savannah Bananas because again, this is like an intro to baseball. There's kids, they're watching baseball in some form
who
or
you
whatever.
seeing? Who you seeing? Good Savannah Banana seats or courtside Caitlin Clark?
That's tough.
Yeah,
probably
right?
courtside Caitlin Clark,
Sad.
but I don't know. Maybe the Savannah Banana things could be fun. I don't know. It's a coin flip. Probably courtside Caitlin Clark, though.
Yeah, I probably would too.
But I'm definitely going to see Savannah Bananas over the draft.
They didn't start out this zany, did they?
I don't really know. I mean, I've seen clips, but I've never watched
like they're getting games on ESPN now.
Yeah.
Like, do you audition? How does it work?
I think you got to be a ball player.
That's what I'm saying. I have so many questions. Like,
yeah,
because like you got to learn like choreography. Like you got to be able to hit a fastball, and also you got to figure out how long it's gonna take you to do the bye 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 dance.
Yeah,
like for real. Like you watch the videos, you're like, whoa. There's a lot of work in like. So I have a lot of questions. Like, how good of ball players are these guys?
You know what I want to audition for? I'll tell you who I want to be. I'll tell you what just became my life's goal. Who do they play every game? Like are they playing like teams, or they have like a Washington Generals kind of thing for the?
So these are the teams I'm seeing that they play. The Party Animals, the Firefighters, the Texas Tailgaters.
This is what I'm saying. You know who I want to be? I want to be the manager of like the firefighters. I want to be like the heel for the Savannah Bananas. That like goes out there and is like, get the fuck off with the fucking dancing. I want to be the guy that the fans hate because he hates the Savannah Bananas. I want to be basically the baseball equivalent of the head coach of the Washington Generals. All right, that was a double dribble. Are we going to call this game straight or not? You can't bring out confetti onto the basketball. This whole thing's a sham.
I want to see the kid who sees a Bananas game for his first baseball game, and then he goes to a regular one. He's like, "What the fuck?"
I want to be literally the manager of the opposing team that kids are in the front just yelling, "Fuck you!" at. They just hate, like 10-year-olds hate me.
Yeah, maybe I should have gone. Maybe I should have been more aware of this, that they're coming here. I see they're in Louisville too.
I'm sure you can get tickets on SeatGeek, bro.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, man.
Should we all pool and buy Andy tickets to the Savannah Bananas?
No, it's not even. It's just like, I'm just like, no. It's not like maybe of night out again on a classic Andy Ruther 5 milligram. Like do that. I don't know. But it's just not, it's like not in my radar, so to speak. I mean, I've talked about it for the last 20 minutes, so maybe it is in my radar. Just because I again was like, oh, how does this play out with Major League Baseball? And my take, which I still think I have some valid points there. Again, just because you're just not going to see that in other sports.
Yeah.
Although I never saw the Harlem Globetrotters. I didn't know. Like,
I saw the Harlem Globetrotters at like the Westchester County Center. Like these guys are playing at Clemson's football stadium. That's insane.
And Dabo let them out in the field.
Dabo.
I bet he thought it was real baseball.
Yeah. A lot of people here to see you boys. Bananas?
He'd make a great manager. I think the guy's name's Dabo. He'd be like a great Savannah Bananas manager.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think he would think it was fake. They're just like, no, this is real. This is real baseball. Can we wrap this up? I'm reaching my point here. I'll be totally honest here. I had good energy to start the show, but we did just cross midnight here.
Okay.
It's still light out, but I'll deal. It's a Cincinnati Eastern Standard Time zone joke.
What time is sun going down there these days? You can't be at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you're still.
Oh, bro, we've been at 8 o'clock for a while.
Really?
Yeah, sunsets 8:28.
Jesus Christ.
We've been
just be central. You're a Midwestern fucking city. What is going on? Just be central.
We're holding on, baby. We're holding on.
Like Cincinnati, this is just a side note, just so I can get like the headspace. Like when you're a kid, like Cincinnati knows it's Midwest, right? Like you guys are Midwest. That's the Midwest.
Everybody says Midwest.
Okay. All right.
But you know my take on it, which I know you don't agree with. I'm like, well, I think the term Midwest doesn't sit well a lot. Like, I was like, if anything, Cincinnati's the Mideast. If you look at the actual map of the country, I mean, how many times am I going to say it? It's true.
Yeah, but there is no Mideast.
I know. That's my point.
Right.
Like, but it is interesting. It's like, what do you consider Cleveland?
The Midwest.
Still Cleveland.
Where the fuck's Cleveland in comparison to you? To me, west of Pennsylvania is the Midwest. For that layer. And then like west of, the Virginias, you get down there, you're like west of West Virginia. Like basically the colonies up north are the East.
Yeah,
And then you get down south, you got the South.
sure.
So west of the colonies is the Midwest. And then you get out to like the West. Go
It's
west.
just interesting that like the Midwest is so large because you're like, oh, Cincinnati. Like if
But
I
Colorado is not the Midwest. Colorado's the West.
no, I know, but I'm saying if I were to drive from like, I guess that holds up there too. If I were to drive from Cincinnati to Des Moines, dude, it'd take me, God knows how many hours, 12, 15 hours. It's like, my point is like, couldn't be more different.
Right. But it's also like because of the way the East is very thin, and then the Midwest is thicker, and then the West is just this fucking massscape, right?
I gotta put up this comment. Old Andy would rip the pen and go for another hour talking about Mastiff dogs. Miss those days. But what do you want from me, man? What do you want from me, Davis? That's a funny ass comment, by the way.
Davis Bottomiller is a good name, by the way. That's the kind of name of a shitty quarterback from Toledo who ends up starting over Shedeur Sanders one day. Like, dude, Shedeur's so bad they're playing Davis Bottomiller.
Yeah, you do have a good NFL
They're playing fucking
quarterback.
Mike Druckenmiller.
The old vape pen. I couldn't tell last time I had a vape pen. Are people still doing that?
Yeah,
Like that's still big, huh?
for sure. I mean, I don't know how big it is compared to like where it once was. I feel like vape got a bad rap there for a minute. I don't think vaping's as big as it once was.
Bro, Alex from Kentucky just came back. Like, this is what I'm saying. Is he a troll or moron? Cam Ward will be an MVP and win a Super Bowl in 5 years. I think he's just trolling. 5 years on his rookie deal? No way.
I mean, who's going to be the coach of this MVP team? Who's like, certainly not fucking Bo Callahan, right? This is in the next
Ryan
regime.
Callahan?
I don't know. I'm calling Bo Callahan.
I like Bo.
This has got to be in the next regime, right? Oh, does Cam Ward get traded? Is he like a Packer when that happens? Dude, this, and also, you're just out on Will Levis? Just out? You're just out on Will Levis? You chose Will Levis over fucking Mike Vrabel. Now you're out on Will Levis? This kid was like, we got to get rid of one of the great coaches in the NFL. He doesn't know how to use Will Levis. He's just squandering Will Levis's career. Fire him.
Okay, Mike Vrabel won his first 2 seasons in Tennessee. He went 9-7. So he won 18 games. First 2 seasons. Callahan won 3. His first, like, how long until Callahan gets to 18 wins, or he just doesn't because he's fired?
Yeah.
I don't
just out on Will Levis.
I don't think he's trolling. I think this is part of the NFL fan that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like the derangement.
I agree with you.
The derangement of a fan. Dude, I got a buddy.
Again, another meme that I know where it's from, but I don't know the meaning. I don't know the context of it. But like, you're spinning SpongeBob at this point. You fired Mike Vrabel last year because he wasn't using Will Levis. Now you've thrown Will Levis out the door.
Dude, I got a buddy trying to spin. Everybody in Cincinnati is making fun. The Bengals drafted a guy who's 25, married with 2 kids at linebacker, and I kept making a joke. This guy's farther along in his relationship than me.
Is he Bo Nix's son?
Yeah, right. You're gonna anger that one Bo Nix stan out there. So they draft this guy, right? I think in the 2nd or 3rd round. So that's the joke. Everybody's like, he started college in 2019. He played for 3 different schools, and so everybody's laughing. Most people. I got a buddy text me. He's like, "No, you're all wrong. This is the Alex from Kentucky in my friend group. He's like, if anything, it shows he's experienced. I said to him, I go, dude, He is 2 months older than Jamar Chase, who is entering his 5th season in the NFL.
Yeah.
To put it in context, Jamar is entering his 5th season. He's 2 months older than him. Oh, he's experienced. I said, he's farther along his relationship than me, bro. Now, granted, whatever. Most people don't just start popping out kids, maybe. I don't know what the stats are now, like, and don't get married like me, but I'm like, he's married. I'm not even married. Oh, you're so wrong, dude. This is great. This is great type of guy you want to draft. A 25-year-old inside linebacker, 25-year-old, get out of here. He's the Chris Weinke of linebackers, dude. I don't want that.
I mean, most linebackers are like eyeing retirement from CTE at 25.
All right. Hotline 310. Look, you guys got me an extra 10 minutes. You happy, Davis? You got me an extra 10 minutes.
I think it might have been Davis when we first jumped on the stream. He was talking about mustaches, and I think he said he's new to the mustache game. Any tips? Well, first of all, I would say get yourself a nice little mustache comb. Train your mustache. That's one thing. Just train it.
Yeah,
he
did.
go.
That was Davis.
Train your mustache. Just keep combing your mustache in the direction you want it to go. Because mustaches, they're like beards. They're all over the place. But you got to train it. So train your mustache. That's my one tip. And then if you ever make a mistake with your mustache, just grow a whole ass beard and then start from the top, It's hard to like. When in doubt, just let everything grow out and then you got a fresh canvas. You can follow me at Joe Prano on all social media. I'll be traveling this week, be in New York, fly out to New York on the red eye tomorrow, get in. I'll be there for Tuesday, Wednesday. Probably going to be at the ballpark at Citi Field on Wednesday night. Watch Mets Diamondbacks, first Citi Field home game of the season. And then Georgia this weekend. Athens, Georgia on Thursday and Friday for the Athens Comedy Festival. There's a cool brewery where there's a kickoff party and a comedy show on Thursday. I think it's called Creature Comforts in Athens on the 1st. And then Friday the 2nd, I'll be at the historic Morton Theater in Athens, Georgia for the Athens Comedy Festival, the inaugural Athens Comedy Festival. And then very likely Atlanta for Saturday. And looking more and more likely like I will try to check out a Braves game. So I've already talked to a couple dirt balls, but any other dirt balls that are in the Atlanta area, hit me up.
Cool.
Will Forte on the podcast on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. I'll check that out for sure. 310-359-8365. That's our hotline. Give us a shout, guys. All right, that's the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.